I do want to talk about cocaine sharks. No, I did not make that term up. Thousands of sharks off Florida's coast may have ingested bales of cocaine left in the water by drug smugglers attempting to get their product into the U.S. Marine biologist Tom the Blowfish Hurd, also known as Fish, wanted to look at whether the sharks have come into contact with the drug, and that is the subject of a documentary that will premiere on Discovery Channel's Shark Week called Cocaine Sharks. Hurd joins us now live from the UK to talk more about this. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So first off, break down for me, what exactly is a cocaine shark?
It's a very, very good, very catchy title, but realistically, in the context of the show, we're just looking for sharks which are displaying strange behaviors, unnatural behaviors, the kind of things that we could potentially draw parallels to drug use or drug addiction from.
And what made you want to take a closer look at this topic in general, sharks and possibly ingesting some of the drugs?
Well, in this case, as you said, the area that we looked in, the Gulf of Mexico, Florida Keys, all that kind of stuff, this is a very, very unique environment where you're getting regular, passages of these drugs moving backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So a shark coming into a contact with a really big hit of coke in one go would be, a very much a lightning strike moment. But the reality of the situation is, while that may be a 1 in 100 occurrence, the amount of drugs that we take, legal and illegal. So if it's paracetamol, if it's aspirins, all the way up to antidepressants, contraception, and then our own illegal drugs, cocaine, methamphetamine, all that kind of stuff, it goes through us, it goes through our wastewater systems and works its way back down into the seas. So while we may have been looking at the very top of this mountain, which of course is a very, very small little bit, there's actually a much wider base of the effects of pharmaceuticals getting into the ocean, affecting ocean food chains, ecosystems, and eventually coming back round to us in the fish that we eat.
And something that's interesting, of course, you have the title Cocaine Sharks. It catches people's attention there, and they think it's kind of funny. But in reality, this is actually a fairly serious topic that you are discussing and looking at closer.
Absolutely. We have for too long used the oceans as essentially out of sight, out of mind, a great dumping ground for many, many different things. And, I think the idea that people's food sources and indeed livelihoods for fishermen, the fact that they might be polluted not just with cocaine, but, other such pharmaceuticals, these are the kind of things you need to go to the doctor for and get, a proper, prescription. So the last thing you want to do is be, taking in someone else's contraceptive medication when you're having your fish fingers of an evening. So we need to really think about how our pharmaceutical use, legal and illegal, is affecting the ocean ecosystems, and using this one-off lightning strike event of a shark going crazy on a big bale of cocaine is just a great way of getting people to look into an area of conservation that really hasn't been touched.
What about how you were able to simulate, I guess, or attempt to simulate how a shark would react or act in general if they were to ingest cocaine? Tell me a little bit about that.
I've done a lot of study of the effects of behavior on fish, when they've been in contact with things like heavy metals, chemicals, that kind of thing. And the one thing that is clear across the board is every fish can be affected in a completely unique way by exactly the same thing. So when it came to trying to get the effect of a simulated cocaine shark, we had to make some assumptions. We had to decide, okay, we're going to assume that cocaine is going to fire off the brain in the shark. So what can we do that would replicate that? Well, in a shark, the large majority of their brain is dedicated to taste, it's dedicated to scent. And so we thought, right, let's fire off all those neurons, let's get the dopamine going. And in doing that, we dumped into the water very, very highly concentrated fish meal that would quickly dissolve. And essentially, it would be the same as you being hungry all day and then end of the day walking into the kitchen and getting a big waft of roast potatoes and gravy. You are going to start salivating, you're going to start kicking off. So that's what we did.
Why do you think this topic overall is of interest to people out there? As you mentioned, folks are eating fish and things of that nature. Why is this so important for people to pay attention to?
I think it's important because on its top level, as is often the way in life, the idea of cocaine sharks, that's quite, it's a sexy idea. It's a movie, it's a show, it's something. It's Tony Montana, Scarface, all that kind of jazz. But as I've said, it isn't just this cocaine. In fact, cocaine might be one of the more limited chemicals that they're coming into contact with. We know that there are dangerous levels of mercury in some of our fish, huge levels of caffeine in the oceans. We're turning the seas, especially our coastal seas, into basically a chemical waste dump. And then I don't think anyone would really want to be eating a fish that swam through chemical waste. So we need to wake up to this, because there's one thing is us ingesting these animals. It's another thing considering the effects that they will have on our ocean ecosystems, which at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, if we don't have a healthy ocean, we cannot survive as a species. Whether you eat fish, live by the coast, doesn't matter. It's the seas that keep this planet going, and we need to look after them.
And this is some of the video here from the Discovery Channel. Really quickly, if you can just let me know a little bit more about, this docuseries and where people can watch it.
Well, it's going out on Shark Week. I believe it's going out on Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure of the time difference from you guys to us, but you can't miss the title, Cocaine Sharks. Check it out. I'm also very lucky to be involved in another one of the Shark Week specials. My good friend Michelle Jewell, who's an absolute queen of sharks, she's doing a show called Great White Fight Club. I will be on that. And even if you fancy an extra little slice of Blowfish, you can check out my own show, Ocean Wonders, on EarthX TV, and that is running on, I believe, the streaming services again over there. But Ocean Wonders, check it out.
Awesome. All right, Tom, the Blowfish, or Fish Herd, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I don't think so. I don't have any witty remarks to end on. So, take care now. Bye-bye then. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Cheers, buddy.